Hello, beautiful friends. Thank you so much for joining me today on this episode of Ascension Walk series. I really appreciate that you are joining in, especially those of you who are first-time comers, welcome. And those of you who've been watching and making your comments and sharing your wonderful portion into what this Ascension Walk series is about. I really appreciate it, and thank you very much for subscribing and turning on this notification, as it really helps me. Today's episode is about source of supply. Really wanted to get in this space with you and speak from the lens of this Ascension Walk and the embodiment of it, and particularly through the grace of I Am Presence. So let's speak of this source of supply. As growing up, we're often supplied through our parents, right? So our needs are met from those who are our caretakers in this earthly plane. And sometimes in our soul agreement, those that we have contracted to come into earth and experience the earth life in the earlier years, we've chosen to have our source of supply be supplied by caretakers or parents that lived really from their own lack and limitation. So I'll speak from this part first, and then also talk about the source of supply for those that came that were already truly abundant from that place. So from the place of that lack and limitations, we incarnated on purpose to go through experience in earlier childhood years to have our source of supply continuously be met with such lack and limitation. And from that lack of limitation, being a witness to our parents or caretakers to speak from that language, from that lens, the action being there, from the hardship that they experience. So that became our frame of reality. And from that frame of reality, we then chose to see the world without knowing that that is the way of life. That is the way that dictates our reality, thus dictates our choices and our endeavors. So we sort of like contracted with that consciousness for many years until somehow, somewhere on our ascension walk, we have had our awakening, and then the light started coming up. That light of luminosity came on and started to shine light in these areas that were part of our belief system, part of our thoughts, part of the way that we had chosen to think over and over, that suddenly became our belief system. So from that, we began to challenge this, we began to see them through a different lens, through this lens of light that had blessed us to see, so that we could begin to make changes. We started to make changes. So thus things started to shift, and we got to see our caretakers and parents from a different lens, and as we began to see ourselves from a different lens. So thus the realities began shifting. And some of us as souls, we chose to incarnate to come into an environment where there wasn't that lack or limitation. It was truly flowing as a very supportive, abundant, surplus way of living. So that's the lens that we got to see the world. So we adopted into that, and that's all we've ever known. So when we were put in position in where others were not operating from, them, there was no understanding and no compassion, and perhaps not even a care, because it couldn't even conceive that as a reality. And then there are some of us souls that incarnated, and let's say we came into this really perhaps a life that didn't have much. However, they also, as parents and caretaker, began to go through their ascension a little bit earlier, began to apply the law of life, the divine law principles, and began to create changes. Thus, we got to be a witness of those changes. So we adapted into that consciousness of how the reality on the outside is truly birthed from the consciousness and the awareness within, and that surplus of life or the source of supply truly does not come from our parents. In the beginning, it is. And as we grow older, we recognize there's another source. There's another source that is supplying us. And as we begin to see through this light of luminosity within us, we began to see, wait a minute, this source is being supplied from within, because the light is shining within. So as it's shining within, I can see that this is also where the goods are, sort of like the treasures or the inheritances are also stored, so that I can begin to draw from here. But to get from there to there was quite a journey, and it has been part of the awareness and the consciousness to know that it exists through the presence, and begin recognizing that the supply of goods from the infinite consciousness is truly infinite. And because we are that infinite consciousness ourselves, we are currently focused physically in this dimension reality, in this, yet within us, within just our physical nature, there is an abundant supply of oxygen, abundant supply of red blood cells, white blood cells, muscles, bones, cells, atoms, and the list goes on and on and on. There's this infinite intelligence that is supplying within, where we do not have to think about creating it. It's already created within, and is supplied from within to without. Thus, this source of supply is in the trees, is in the flowers, is in the animals, is in the sand and the sea. It is continuously giving. So if this source of supply is continuously giving, does it not make sense that it is continuously overflowing within the field of consciousness? And if our selves on this ascension rock are not experiencing it, perhaps it's because we have been unplugged from that source of supply. So as a result, we cannot experience the surplus of it. As a result, we cannot benefit from the goods that are there to provide for us, for us to then bring it to this dimensional plane and be able to truly, joyfully, willingly, consciously, deliberately, and really the key is joyously share it. Share it in our work, share it with our family, share it with our friends, share it with our clients, share it with our neighbors, share it with whoever we choose to share it, because it feels so incredible, this overflowing supply of goodness that's very uplifting, it's very joyous, and it does not want to restrict itself in any way, because its nature is to give, and to give from its goodness. Because all truly that our mother, father, that I am awareness has, also is what we have. And because we are from that creation in this form. It's that same light, it's that same spark, it's that same joy, it's that same awareness. And when we drop into awareness on our ascension walk, then the light is like, wait a minute, I can begin to draw the supply from here. So in the ascension walk, there are many, many stages in this until we get here, because along the way, we've been attempting to get the supply from others, depending on others, relying on others, waiting on others, and also, then meeting all the challenges and disappointments and sadness and the falls and what have you, until we've been just frustrated enough, recognizing this is not working out. So why is this happening? And as we meet those energies in motion that are part of this journey because they block the flow, and that's the part that takes quite a long time, and those are the part that is my area of sort of like mastery with ascension alignment. In the private session that I facilitate, in those 3 sessions, we get in this area where these deeper energies in motion, because they're stored within the mitochondria of the body and the bodies, they are not sort of like allowing the flow of the supply. They're kind of like just blockages that as the supply wants to come in, it can't go. So it kind of like backs up and creates a lot of frustration, because internally one knows, and then on this plane is not being materialized properly. And all those higher callings, all those higher visions, all those solutions for humanity and earth that we're seeing in our visions, we can't deliver it. So then it then backs up further with disappointment and helplessness and hopelessness. So all of those have to first be met with love and transmuted into light. So then this door that already is open, we don't need to open it, it already is open, can begin to flow through it, so then it can come through the bodies, and especially in this body, so it can begin to express itself outward, because it cannot be created on the outside. And that is the big adjustment on this ascension walk. Those who are committed to embodiment are recognizing that's the big one. We've been doing it the other way, waiting for the outside, and it is not released on the outside, it is released from within. And forgiveness is a huge part of this. I'll be doing one of the Ascension Walk series really around forgiveness, and then my workshop is coming up on true effective forgiveness, what that is, because the mechanics of it makes a huge difference. And this is an area on my own Ascension Walk I feel like I've been able to really harness the mechanics of it, and the intelligence, and truly the mastery of what it is to walk this and to embody it and to anchor it. So then from this revered place as a reverend, I can truly share from a direct experience how this operates, so that individuals can go through it themselves. Unfortunately, I cannot do it for you, yet I can walk you through it so that you can also walk through it through the ascension of awareness into alchemized embodiment. And so the source of supply is recognized as the creator source that is always supplying. So we do not need to go outside searching for it, yet we can begin to truly draw it in from inside and bless the world, bless the humanity, bless everyone on our path. And I'm really excited to be able to assist those who are called to be assisted in this. All of this is within you, yet the navigations for it takes a while. This is a 12-year journey of being able to articulate it in such art of refinement and go through all the walk of the challenges to finally get it, where it's clicked it, it's aligned, it's centralized, and from the centralized place, from within, through that crystalline light, through that light of Christ within, it is being supplied on the outer. And I welcome in hearing your comments, your questions, and also if what I shared made any sense to you. And however way I can be of assistance, please always feel free to email me at honeybee, HONIB 1111 at gmail.com. And feel free to also share this video for those who may be able to benefit from it, as sharing is a huge part of Ascension walk. We always want to share the goodness with others. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on next week's episode. Much love.